Hello everyone, this is Maffuman coming to StarCraft Star Battle. This is a 6-on-6 ship going action game starring Yi Yi over there in his Leviathan. Weaking also coming off as a Leviathan. Space Marine coming off with a Guardian, has a little bit of speed. Looks like both Leviathans, yep, went for that evolved upgrade. Reeves coming up with a 4 laser Raven. Good for farming. Got some Failcraft going in, trying to figure out how upgrades. He's got some speed. Let's see what else he's got. He's got a warp actually up there, just to see what else he can do. We got Drunken Yoda also coming in, 1.61 speed. On the blue side, we got a Katos up there, 1.86 speed. A little bit of farming ability. Doesn't have blink or anything like that, crazy like that. Angel obviously just got a feedback off. Speedy cut, pushing up with his missiles and 1.71 speed. FOD coming up with Gatling Cannon. Gatling Cannon at 5. 5 is a pretty hefty number. It's actually all that you put in there. 5 plus 2 speed. Ain't got no armor, but kind of just like really pushing in with the damage. And definitely putting Failcraft on the defensive, running on back. Weaking over there. Ooh, we just got a double plague from Monza. Monza with a double plague. Our dog coming in, turning around, backlash rockets do fire in both directions, but Guardians, as we know and love, do not. They only shoot their needle spines in all directions. Their acid spores and the broodling strikes are kind of limited to only facing forward, and that actually there's Galaxy jumping on as well. We got another perfect play hitting both of them as well. Drunken here taking quite a bit of damage, and you can actually repair it right now. He's at 600 life, and he is taken out. A little bit of a feedback as an overkill right there. Space Marine also moving in, also getting quite a bunch of damage, and he will make it back. He's got 3,000 life, 2,000 life, 1,000, and he is not going to make it back as well. Both Guardians taken out in the first couple of minutes. Both Guardians taken out in the first couple of minutes. We got Leviathans trying to get all slappy. I mean, they're within range certainly now with their 1.61 speed. But they both went up for the Evolve. And yeah, the Evolve is great because it helps you long term. But in the very beginning, it's 125 of energy. But will that be enough? Our dog is taking quite a bunch of damage. He's in the 1,000 life. He's at about 600 life, 500, and Yi is going to just dive in to take him out, and he does. And GetOSC's right behind him. He will be able to follow up, and he will not. Failcraft also taking some damage. GetOSC now choosing to go on Yi. This Reeves is sitting here like, hey guys, I can't heal your shields at all. What am I doing? But he has the has shield. Just the 4 years trying to farm. Just 4 years trying to farm, but even if he has an ability, I mean, what would be helpful right there if you ain't got no, allies? GetOSC now out of shields, has to retreat. Void Rays do a bunch of damage, but can't stay in combat forever. Failcraft pushing on up. He is just trying to push. I guess he has a little bit of range as well. He has range on his missiles, so he can always hit GetOSC, and GetOSC can't push too much further. FOD pushing back. Got the a reset in the first 4 minutes to a 4 versus 5 scenario. Failcraft pushing up. Speedy kind of boinging on the rocks a little bit. He's going to kind of put some pressure on him. He has to retreat, but he also does have able to heal up his shields. Boing from Failcraft as well. Let's see. We got both Leviathans opened up with the Evolve infield upgrade. Now, Leviathans are the only ship that can do that. They can use their money immediately once they have it, and they can use their money on anything down there. So you can see just the down there stats, the base speed and attacks, range, and all that fun stuff. They can use that money immediately. Other people have to have a lot lower numbers because they also because they can't spend their money immediately. They have to go back to a base. It's all about that base. No spending. Let's see. We got, but that does put them in a position where they are slightly at a disadvantage at the very beginning. In the first couple minutes, we actually just lose both teammates. But let's say we got Secret Missile as a response. Now Angel does have feedback, but I guess to compensate for the 2 damage dealing people lost, Reeves went for a Secret Missile to do some damage, right? And FOD decided to go back to base. He does have repair bots. He went for the extra health as well, and has some armor. So he's, although he went for a Gatling cannon in the very beginning of the game to do, you know, some upfront damage, he's also going to remember that he is a tank and has plenty of health and tankiness. And although he doesn't have his, you know, although he doesn't have the defensive shields, he can also repair from things like Secret Missile. Alright, so Veilcraft is going to move on back. Veilcraft is a 1.71 speed, so he will get plagued. The Raven did not get plagued right there. Secret Missile to follow up with Monza. Monza the monster with some plague. Weakening going up there. Has Locust for farming. You know, yeah, Leviathans do have Locust. They're not like the main focus of Locust, but they do have them, and you might as well use them if you got them. 5 is a little bit hefty. I mean, they will, you know, one-shot kill, and I think 3 at least. But hey, you know what? Invest and then forget. You know what I mean? We got these little cute little Sky Furies helping the push. They're created by the base. You know, they just kind of add a little bit of love to your team. Kind of extend. They do enough damage to be painful and to, you know, be sort of the focus of a push without it being you know, too hefty. Ghetto again pushing in, and he's trying to do as much damage as possible with his prismatic beam. You know, 60 damage, upgraded twice, 0.36, upgraded the speed a little bit. That's why it's in gold. 2.06 speed. Doesn't have any abilities, just has speed. Doesn't have any blink or anything like that, but he is certainly the speediest. Speedy cut. You know, over there has 1.82 speed, also pretty speedy. And some missile. Let's see what he upgrades his money into. Looks like just some more base stats. Maybe with that 1.82 speed, he could go for like a nuke or something. Reeves, pushing on back. The red side is, you know, running away. Strategic retreat. The Weaking and Yi about, yes, half the red scene doesn't have to go back to base to upgrade their base stats, but they do have to go back to base if they want to do installations instead of devolvations. There might be a different term for it, but it's essentially evolve and upgrade. I'm going to use that term for these base stats, and installations for all the fancy abilities. And yeah, he was taking damage, but you know, he had quite a bunch. I mean, he upgraded his health a bit, but let's see what he puts his 1,000 money into. He has 1,000 money because he has so much. He has the 4 tentacles and the 5 locusts, 5 upgrade locusts. So let's see what he does go back there. Yi as well, going back. Now that's actually, you know, something that is important to do. Just because you can upgrade these base stats, don't forget about the cool stuff you get. Oh my gosh! Well, if you want to see what Leviathans can do, this is what they can do. They can do Acid Spray, 100 damage with 500 plus 500 to massive, over 8 seconds. We got Rapid Regeneration to heal on up. We got some Interception to go on a little faster, close that gap. A little Zealot Charge there. Corruption increases the amount of damage, covers it in Zerg Slime, and then Frenzy, the $400 ability. And hey, you know what? Now that he has all of that, he probably doesn't have to go back to base for a while. He does have to upgrade energy though, because he got all the coolest stuff in the world, and like is now in energy debt. Because 225 is not very much. Can't use any of the abilities right now, so he just has to like then use his money to actually use the cool stuff. 300, kind of opposite strategy from you know, Yi right here. Just has Acid Spray. And did upgrade energy to definitely use it. So he can Acid Spray to his heart's content. 75 energy is like not much. Easily supportable. Barely an inconvenience. We got Reeves coming in. Reeves is going to use the Secret Missile. It does pull out just in time. The Secret Missile does have a area of effect. And Dreadnought does have to retreat. I mean, hey, he's finally taking whole damage. But, you know, it is whole damage. And he has 545, so it's not like he's you know, gonna have to stay at base for very long. Juke. He uses that on the Protected Field. Very good idea. Protected Field and the Repair Bots are like the 2 main things that all Dreadnoughts love. Protected Field surrounds Dreadnoughts in a field of energy, increasing armor by 50, and reducing damage dealt by abilities by 25%. we're sorry, we're reducing damage viability to 25%. So, Secret as well, I think we'll do a lot less, regardless. And FOD does warp up just to get in line with that. Dreadnoughts are position-based fighters. They are tanks, yes, but what's really important is with the Dreadnought is that you're either perfectly safe or you're dead. Because their Gatling cannon shoots really quickly. I mean, .3 and Ghetto's is .31, so he's shooting as fast as a Void Ray, but the Void Ray has 2.06 speed as opposed to 1.71 speed. So the Dreadnought, if it can get into position, it can just keep on punishing. And look at that. Protected field, repair bots, they can, once they are in position to do damage, they can stay and keep on doing damage, chainsawing everything down. But you have to be in position to do so. Boom! Got that Plague off. Plague, of course, you know, the ideal person to upgrade is somebody who, to hit with Plague is somebody who can't repair from it. And, you know, Yi is Leviathan. It's not as permanent, but, you know, hey, it's 2 damage. It also upgraded it to the, you know, 1600 damage as opposed to 1200 damage at the cost of 150. And we've been good at that. Bloodrunner was able to get that rapid regeneration off to heal his damage, but now as it's worn out, FOD, Speed Cut, and Void Ray are all trying to do it much. You know, interception just to get back to base. Back to base, that couple extra inches does make a difference. And we got a, you know, defensive matrix. Now that's a good move right there for Reeves to do, because defensive matrix will allow him to provide some defense towards the Leviathans. You can never give them shields, so his, you know, shield repair is still at 140. He himself doesn't have very many shields. But defensive matrix will surrounds the targeted unit with a shield that reduces most hits to the minimum damage. The shield is not perfect, and some hits will be causing full damage, lasting for 5 seconds. I'm pretty sure the number is like 90%, because like it blocks pretty much everything. But I guess technically has to say not 100% effective. Lockdown. Lockdown is a pretty decent response. You know, obviously he can't lock down Monza, and Monza is, I mean, he has 500 energy. He loves his Plague. So obviously, you know, that, but in light of that, he could lock down Speedy Cut. Speedy Cut doesn't have any abilities. FOD, you know, always good to lock down a Destro. And Angel has 2 abilities. They don't know that he has Stasis Field, but that is a good thing to try to prevent. FOD is asking where the Psyblast is. Let's see if Monza responds by getting some Psyblast. There he is, on the way. Has the 500 energy. Has the 500 energy to support whatever abilities he has. Starts off 225, and he boosted it up to 1355 damage. That may keep on going, and because Psyblast is like the answer to anything biological. Let's see. 1355 damage, plus 250 to bio and shields, minus 250 to mech. So, anything with shields is taking more damage. Anything that's biological is going to take more damage as well. And look at how much health they have to go down. The Leviathans are meat tanks, and let's see. He upgraded his health to 1550 or 15500, while there's 19,000 health from weakening, and that's just more and more money invested into health. So anything you can do, a little Psyblast right there, gonna definitely put some hurt on him, and he has enough energy to keep on supporting it. It's only 100 energy, he has 550 total. Plague on both of their houses. Another Psyblast, continued Psyblast to actually, you know, do quite a bunch of turn the hit points on. Weakening, turning in. And the Ghetto moving down. He's going to focus his effects on Failcraft. Failcraft is going to keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. Will that be quite enough? No, there's not quite enough. There's a holdup. There's a holdup on the Raven. And FOD is diving, and he's going to try and take do as much damage as possible. Failcraft pushing him all the way back. The Weaking is also not in position to really do very much. Yee is being hurt. And Reeves is sitting there. Now he's finally out of the holdup right there. We got Speedy Cut taken out? Speedy Cut was taken out while that was happening. And will FOD continue to push in? He is, again, doing in the exact right position to do as much damage as possible. But that was not quite enough. And we have now a 4 versus 4 speeding count was taken out. The battlecruiser from the blue side was taken out while the rest of the red side was relatively distracted. Let's see. These Tempests are in a good position. I mean, they happen to be there. But Angel, was not able to, transfer some shields or anything like that. Because it is a, what's it called? The Stasis Field is a channeling ability, so if you get too far away, you can't quite do it. You don't see you're gonna push again. He has blink, he has a speed, but Void Rays are so susceptible to damage once they get into the health. I mean, look at that, 6.75 armor is not very much, and then he drops down to 5 if he gets into the health right into the hull damage. Unsuccessful attempt to kill the red side, although everybody on the red side was damaged. Damage isn't dead. Observer kind of in an interesting position right behind the rocks. Definitely giving, vision. Let's see, does Angel move it around? Not quite, but at least he's leaving it there so he has vision around the middle. Seeing if they're going to work back or something like that. And we got a little bit of exchange as FOD makes his final push to try to farm as much as possible. He has 32 armor on his hull damage. Shields, you have them, but they're just kind of like there to extend the life of protected field. And he actually, right now, if you start diving, you could hurt StarCraft quite heavily. But he does have 2 Leviathans on them. He has and that Corruption was the difference right there. Corruption and Acid Spray, taking out the armor gadgets that he has, 32 minus 5, 32 plus 20% damage. Their Tentacles and Bioswarm can both do damage, although whatever they're doing 32 less. See, moving in, he has 90 damage, 0.31 speed. EMP is used. He did not blink out in time, and will that be enough? I think it did scare him off from attacking too much further. Got an EMP or a feedback used on Weaking right there. Weaking has all the abilities in the book. VV has all the abilities in the book. StarCraft does use his lockdown on the right target right there. Angel bringing that energy from that healer. We got a defensive matrix being used. We got a FOD moving. Yeah, he was using Barrage. Barrage is good damage. It does 200 damage plus 2,300 damage versus massive. Over 5 second players carry you slightly. Anybody in the area is being attacked, but anybody outside the area is just fine. He's gonna move. He's gonna move. He's gonna move. He's gonna try to do as much damage as possible. He's out of energy right now. His 400 keeps on getting drained occasionally with either EMPs or lockdowns. Now he's not the only target, but it does work. FOD, push it in, really try to take out StarCraft. StarCraft is really benefiting from the defensive matrix right there. He has to move on back. He is the tank, and he can't sustain damage, firepower of that magnitude for very long. And Cloak was used. Cloak's found units in a target area. While active, the Arbiter cannot be cloaked by another Arbiter, which is, fair. Monza moving in. 1910 damage. 1910 damage. Definitely the easiest way to do some damage to the Leviathans right there. Or really, to do damage to anybody. Shields included. Yee, finding out how much damage that is. FOD, again, he's trying to push up. He has the 1.71 speed. But, they all have 1.71 as well. 1.71, the 1.7s are about where the ships top out as their normal speed way. You can get faster, obviously. Get OSC 2.06. The Arbiter at 1.91 speed, 1.82 speed. But the tanks start off at 1.3. Plus, you figure like 3 upgrades, and then they get up to 4 upgrades, and they get up to 1.71 speed. And at that point, it's like 200. It's beyond what's usually worth it because the upgrades go exponentially more money each time. And, 400 energy, or 400 money into another speed upgrade starts being a little bit diminishing returns right there. Angel just leaving that observer right there. You can independently control it, but it's in a good position. It's obviously not going to get spotted. You're not just going to EMP randomly right there. Monzo moving in. Monzo whiffing on both, but I think the Reeves as well, whiffed as well. Both area of effect damages can miss. FOD doing more damage. The corruption and the corruption and the acid spray are doing a 1-2 punch on the Dreadnought. But he does have the 10 shields. Now shields on the Dreadnought, they don't get the armor, but at that point they are basically repairing regardless. So it does extend your life quite a bunch, and it's just more time for a protected field. And there we go, now he's in the right position. He's Gatling pens at .27, doing a whole bunch. Now again, it does only, the detonations only last for about 5 seconds. They do switch targets. Yi is also in a hold up right now. And there is more and more damage being done on Yi, and there's a Secret Missile almost taking out the border right there before he has to get on back. Whatever he has to get on back. And although the side blasts were helpful, we just need more and more. But there's a cooldown. He has to not overextend as well. But yeah, the blue side kept on switching targets, so they weren't able to get one down. They were able to get them all down slightly instead of one down entirely. Spellcraft taking a whole bunch of damage. We got a Get OSC blinking in. Now there's no repair on the void ray, so he doesn't quite commit. But maybe he could have if he just committed right there. Took out there, but look how much damage he's taking. As a void ray, always have to be careful that he's not going to take it out on the retreat again. He was. Get OSC taken out with 8 unspent minerals. FOD outside the range of the cloaking. We got Angel having to retreat as well. Once he gets out of shields as well, he's also quite susceptible. Even at 2.02 speed, Dreadnought having to just, try to take on more and more damage. We got Reeves launching a Seeker Missile at the base to try to take it down. The base is always going to outrange most of what's happening, but the Leviathans just have so much health at this point. Look at this, 26 armor, 22,000 life, 12 armor, 19,000 life. And they have Rapid Regeneration to repair a lot of that over, a quick amount of time. They were just able to farm so much. Gonna see who is dead. Ask me if you can be the odds. See, why not? Knock yourself out there, buddy. Now you can spy on them. You can make sure that if they're farming by themselves or if they're out of position, he can see them, keeping an eye on them. The Leviathans can't cloak, but but if you can catch them off guard, that can make a difference. The Angel moving in. Angel, knowing that there's not very many people, really go for like a hold up right there. That might not be the best right there, so he does feedback at least. Weakening, running out of energy. 625 to support that, and that's so much energy. But look how many abilities he has. That we got a Seeker Missile going on in. Seeker Missile hitting FOD. FOD gonna try to commit to attacking Spellcraft. Spellcraft is out of the range of Reeves, and Reeves has to pull on back to do more damage. Spellcraft's gonna take a whole bunch more while the Gatling gun is at .26, going a little bit faster, and because of Chrono Boost, and he's just committing and keeping on attacking. But now he does have to try to retreat. The Spellcraft is shooting his missiles at pretty much everybody, trying to take out Angel out of shields. We got the Leviathans scooping on back, firing their abilities, and cloaking does save FOD right there. I mean, from taking more damage. Angel moving back. Now we got a Weaking coming out in, going to try attacking. Oh, that did probably save himself right there. The Weaking was going in to try to dive and take out Angel, and look how close he was. Any additional attacks would have definitely taken out the Arbiter right there. So the holdup was just to stop Weaking from just wrecking everybody. FOD diving back. 32 plus 45. Trying to do as much as possible. Trying to take out you know, the failcraft right there. But, you know, being just kind of a little bit unable to. We got FOD moving on up. And leaking as he's running back using acid spray or corruption as well. Got a 4 versus 3 scenario. Monza coming on in. Monza's got the 22,335 damage, and that also did connect. And another maybe shot would take him out. If Monza can get up there, if Monza can close the gap and shoot another one, Failcraft is going to be in the 600 range, and the Raven is nowhere close to being close. And the Plague is working him down, and he does. Failcraft is taken out. It's now a 3 versus 3 scenario. Well, 3 plus an observer, why not? Yeah, 3.5 versus 3 scenario. We got the 2 Leviathans though. You know, we don't see any drain from Monza. I think that might be a good thing to kind of like invest yourself into right now, because although there is you know, feedback, you know, help a brother out there, use some more. Monza launching some side blast, 23-35, leaking with a kind of early frenzy, just to try to get a little bit closer, and you know, he got feedback as well, so you know, that plays effective. But I mean, when you're doubling the damage of 52 plus 100 damage versus massive, and giving you 200 for any amount of attack, that's just gonna wreck things. Even things with quite a bunch of armor. So things without a bunch of armor are really susceptible. I mean, look at that. He's not even trying with putting to armor because he's a you know, flying gun. He has the 1.92 speed to save him. That's the only thing that can really help him, because armor on an overlord is, you know, it never gets great, even unless you put an absurd amount of money into it. Same thing with health. You know, you start off lower, so you're always going to be a little bit lower. Now another shot on Reeves could take him out though. Reeves is, you know, doesn't have very much armor or health as well, because again, the Raven is a shield transfer unit, and there's nobody to transfer shields to. So he has a little bit for himself, 5 upgrades, but not like 15 or 20 upgrades. Weaking, taking some damage. Has, you know, 2,000 or 23,500 life, but you know, is susceptible to keep on taking damage. And we got Monza moving up. Monza launching another one at Reeves. Will FOD go to hit? There's about 300 life. Will they burn him down? Because the Plague keep it on going, and he is going to burn down. Now it's just 2 Leviathans versus 3 different people. We got so team compositionally, we got you know, 2 Leviathans, which are kind of like bruiser attack tanks versus a armor love and tank, an angel to help him out, basically support ship, and then we got a heavy damage support ship who still doesn't have drain. And he has 675. He's upgrading his he's upgrading a bunch of health, or a bunch of energy, to avoid being EMP'd, but now that's no longer an issue. Angel, you know, using the feedback on there, FOD in the right positioning, but seeing another Leviathan going on in, he's going to also retreat. Plague on them, zap on them, interception, trying to take out the Overlord. The Overlord is going to keep on attacking damage, and he doesn't have very much life. He has about 4,000 life. The defensive holdup will save Monza right there. FOD, though, may not be that lucky because he has only defensive protective field, so the cloak was the way of doing it. Using the low range of the towers as protection. I mean, they're doing 200 damage against things that just have thousands of life. But you know, it does discourage diving. It doesn't stop it. Discourages it. FOD using that barrage. Again, that area is being affected, but you have to fly through that area. It does channel you for a little bit. FOD, let's see. If he gets siege, he could do a bunch of damage, but he'd also be super susceptible to taking damage. Angel using that chrono boost on FOD to have him move a little faster, shoot a little faster. And we got Leaking moving on up, and Cloak being used to save him. Now Cloak doesn't stop things with an area of effect, so acid spray definitely still effective. Monza figuring out what he wants to do. Blue side hasn't had very much time to like farm, so even though they have a ship advantage, they have less overall money. So the you know, Yi and Weaking pairing are by capita more rich. We got the Observer moving on up. FOD doesn't have Siege. And, you know, is just going to try to move up. He has the 10 armor, 10, you know, shields, 48 plus 50 is actually still 2 less than, not that, than that. I mean, he has 120 damage on his tentacles now. He's at only 76, or I mean, only 76 at, you know, 0.27 speed. But, it's actually doing more damage than the cannon. Just about. I mean, they're pretty much equal. But, not necessarily. FOD moving up. And, Leviathans do get larger as they are, as they get thicker. So, the more that they press the, increase health button, the more that they, get large. Increase in size. FOD, moving on up, he's the heavy damage guy. Weaking, pressing the, frenzy button with the last remaining energy that he does have. He has 700 potential. So even a feedback is going to take out everything. He's going to move on back. FOD, relying on protective field, and the continuing attacks might be another, you know, stasis. Will that be there? Yes, it is there to save Weaking, or to attack Weaking, but FOD taking a bunch of damages at 1751, and he is going to make it back to the base, as did Angel. Angel, you know, use the stasis field on the Leviathan that was closer. Monza just sitting there. Whenever you can get within 14 range, he can shoot them. But, you know, it's the best way of doing damage to a Leviathan, but they have so much health that you need to find every way of doing damage to a Leviathan. And, the Arbiter, though he has some really good abilities, I mean, he does 18 damage to this phase disruptors. His most offensive attack would be Electromagnetic Storm. Let's see. 125 to light units, 1475 versus massive, plus 284 because he just has 625. It's something, at least. His way of doing damage is to help other people do damage with Chrono Boost. And with positioning attacks like, you know, that stasis. Again, Leviathan's moving on back. You know, they can upgrade in field, but they also can go back to base, see what else they maybe possibly could get. It's kind of a string of bottom upgrades that we can see if they've already gotten, but they also help with regeneration and all that. FOD being cautious, he's the tank. He's the tank, but he's also the heavy damage dealer. He has laser batteries at 10, really going to help him farm at least. Whatever he can move out, he wants to do it. He wants to farm as much as possible. Phoenix at 35 health, so 28 is quite killing them. It's two-shotting. It's two-shotting, mathematically. We got you know, a ping up there, same with that Yi is up there. Leviathans are kind of spread out a little bit. And now Weaking's a little bit behind him. It's all about positioning here. The positioning of a good stasis. They can be used defensively, but if you can use them offensively, then you do cut the army in half, right? But if you stasis too quickly, if you miss a couple plagues, if you get your Dreadnought out of position, then the red side has a little bit of advantage because there's just so much health that they have. You know, Jocks versus Nerds right here. Nerds using their cool abilities in science, but Jocks is having so much health right now. FOD moving up. Protective Field was upgraded a whole bunch of times. Let's see, 12 seconds of life, reducing armor. I'm sorry, adding 50 armor, reducing damage dealt by abilities to 25%. So now I'm not seeing it, and neither of them have it. But if either of them had bioplasmic discharge, then I guess that would be reduced. And we got you know, a little bit of feeling each other out. Both sides recognizing that there's only one life in this game, so you really got to be cautious about where and when, why you're going to attack. Because with every one of these attacks, not only do you have to survive the attack, you have to survive the retreats. Monza, great positioning, staying, trying to be at 14 range away. Yi trying to take advantage of it. While Monza can do 100 damage, he can only do about 100 damage to one person. FOD, the perfect positioning in the front. He's the damage taking guy. Monza, damage doing guy. So if one of the Leviathans can go around the side, then they can make a big difference. Angel drains some energy. Drains some energy, possibly maybe add some chrono boost or something like that. Again, going around. We'll bring it on the Rosie on the rocks. Oh, Angel, defensive hold up right there. Defensive stasis is going to allow FOD to try to retreat. Feedback, going to drain the energy right there. Weakening out of energy right now. Going to use enough of his speed to try to get up there. He has 1.91 in general, plus 0.04. FOD running away. FOD being, cloaked, but also the acid spray does a little bit of damage in an area. And, another two side blasts could possibly take him out. He has 1.92 speed. Yi had the 1.91 speed, so they're basically built about the same. And we got a storm on the interceptors. Farm ships. Yi moving up. Oh, FOD using that barrage and a little bit of a misclick right there. Yi moving up, trying to do as much damage as possible. Has a 33 upgrades on his tentacles, so they do 144 to massive ships. And Monza, right in the back, using his 3,240 damage versus plus 250 to try to do as much as possible. Tempest, unfortunately, not as protected as they could be, so they are going to be taken out. Tempest again only 400 damage at this point, which is something, but so much health doesn't feel like something. Monza has to is the damage guy, but he has to be careful because he's going the same speed, and at 1.92 speed, he really can't upgrade his speed anymore. He could try. I think it would cost about $800 though, so he practically can't. This is about as fast as they go. But same applies for the Leviathans. Although they could try to upgrade 800 money into speed, it's diminishing returns right there. Let's see, defensive hold up from Angel on Weaking. We got FOD and the fake FOD also pushing up to try to hit Yi. FOD moving back now, moving back to try to attack Weaking, but all that is really doing is allowing Yi to also get in contact with them as well. And although now they've reestablished the proper positioning, the FOD is taking a whole bunch of damage in the meantime. And yeah, they're not falling for the fake FOD right there. FOD pushing up, Yi in the red, but there's just so much. Oh, he turns to attack the closer Leviathan, but the closer Leviathan is not quite. Yi is in the right positioning. That is another shot right there. And will that be enough? If Monza can stay on top of him, keep on side blasting, and that might just do it. I mean, everything the side blast goes, just a chunk of his health goes as well. Another shot, possibly. Another shot could possibly do it. And Monza retreats. Monza retreats to try to not die right there. Yi taking a whole bunch of damage, kind of trading off which Leviathan is in front, which Leviathan's on the receiving end. And FOD gonna push on up. FOD gonna push on up, trying to use his garage as well. Both Leviathans are in the red, and about a 3,000 life, and another, electromagnetic storm it does hit both, but not quite enough. Not quite enough. The Leviathans just used that combined, 40-something odd thousand life to just trade off who was taking the damage, trade off who was taking it. When one got low, the other one got hit. The one got, lower, the other one jumped in. And Monza just, using the side blast whenever you can, but you actually have to kill people instead of just putting them in the red. And again, proportionally, they show up red much quicker, so they're showing up red at like 5,000 life, where when some of these people would only show up at like 3 or 2,000 life. Blue side gonna have to retreat. That was about as much farming as they've been able to push for this game, because of just how aggressive these Leviathans have been. He's using his Frenzy to try to get it as close as possible, increasing the speed slightly by 0.06. He's going to use Interdiction as well. Interdiction being used against Angel. Angel does have the first stasis, does use it. Yee, moving on up. Yee, moving on up. FOD, 1.71 speed is actually pretty slow compared to these Leviathans. Leviathans have invested an extra, you know, I think probably 400 into speed, and I mean, it does make a difference. Angel moving back. Just relying on the stasis right there to be the thing that really, like, channels and targets the game. It, puts a player out of commission, makes the other one have to react to save his friend or to run away. Siege being used, increasing the damage by quite a bunch. We're gonna keep it right there. 1300 you know, damage right there at 17 range. But the Leviathans just have so much health that they can take that type of damage, and he's using it offensively, and it takes a while to get on out back into combat mode. Now, if they can use it at base, potentially he can put some pressure on the red team's towers, but it does lower. Let's read it right here. Siege mode. Deploys into siege mode. In this mode, the Dreadnought has very long range and inflicts area damage. Dreadnought in this mode cannot attack targets at close range and moves very slowly and has reduced armor. The last two of those are understatements. They move basically not at all, and they do increase their range, but their armor goes down to very little. So the thing that's keeping them alive against two heavy damage Leviathans is your armor. And instead of just having plus 50 armor, they basically go down to 50, and there's going to be a Weaking jumping on in, trying to attack Monza. Monza does not have very much life, and Monza is going to be taken out by Weaking. Weaking just did so much damage when he gets close, and FOD is not in a position to cloak him. And again, they go about the same speed. Save the FOD right there for more damage right now. He has to rely on the protected field. And yeah, this little they know that this is a fake, but you know, not gonna do quite enough. That's cute. Even the fakes get the emergency shield ability. Weaking jumping up, Weaking diving in. He's at full health, and yes, there's cloaking right now, so he couldn't attack him right there. But now both Leviathans are in a position where they can attack the Warp Prism, and the Warp Prism is still doing 200 damage and has about 17 armor, but it's just not quite enough. FOD has to be right about there, because any closer and he's going to risk even more damage. Look, he even gets out of combat mode, gets into combat mode, out of siege mode. Now what he could do is maybe siege all the way back. Yeah, I guess that's something you can do. Drag this on out, put this little line of protection. If they want to get close, they have to take 1590 damage at 0.265, plus he's being chrono boosted. He goes to minus 0.88 speed, and that is a way of doing extra damage, but it's defensive. As soon as they're out of this bubble, they're safe, and that is just delaying them from attacking, delaying them from getting close. But if they use their abilities together, they could do a little bit more. Weaking diving in, the fake Dreadnought taking as much damage as possible. But look at the armor right now on the Dreadnought. He is out 64. He's almost back into attack mode, and Weaking just sitting there taking all the damage in the world right now. The Mothership not doing almost anything right now, and this is pretty much going to be GG. The Arbiter really just can't take that much damage for that much longer. FOD, stay alive, but just relying on the Mothership to protect as two hungry hippos just keep on slapping you is delaying the inevitable. Now they could get lucky, and they are in the yellow, but again, their yellow is like basically other people's full health. FOD trying to stay alive, and I think that is going to be GG. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure to send your replays to MaffumanCasting@gmail.com to watch your games you played. And come on, there you almost go. Oh, there he goes. Make sure you press like, press subscribe. We are doing StarCraft Star Battle all the time.